Hey YouTubers, it's Lisa Purdy again. Today I'm at the Propel conference and I am just wanting to address some of the stuff that I think is absolutely spot on that they're talking about here, that lines up with and confirming some of the stuff I've been getting as well in my quiet time. And first things that I wanted to show is Christine King talked this morning, and she said, teach your kids the way of life and the words of victory. And I love that because so many people are walking around with an idea that they're a victim mentality, and their words represented that. So an example she showed is, when you say, well, you don't understand what happened to me 40 years ago when my sister did this, or when my father did this, or when the church did this to me, and what I've been going through. And you're still talking about those problems as throughout your life, but you're not moving forward. You're not allowing yourself to grow and to be healed of those things. You're still holding on to them. And she related that to when the Jews were pulled out of Egypt. They were in slavery, and so they had a mindset of being a slavery, and so then when they pulled out of Egypt wasn't taken out of them, so what should have taken 12-day journey to get to the promised land took them 40 years. And if you understand that that's a huge significant time difference, so God opened the Red Sea and allowed them to walk through, and that should be an indicator that he can provide things. But as soon as they taste bitter water, they start complaining. And so how like that is it for us in this day and age where, he provides in a season and we celebrate those things. And then as soon as we hit the next obstacle, we are now hurting and complaining and not looking for a way to come out of that. And this conference is really good because it talks about propelling you in the direction of Jesus and understanding that he has paid for all those things and can help you push through all those things and then make your life a way to propel other people. So she really was specific about stop grumbling and complaining about what has happened to you and start realizing what he did for you so that you can continue to move forward. And then another thing that she mentioned was the boldness of our voice. In our life, we talk about how Christians have true believers, like who believe in the power of Christ and how he can change anything, heal anything, remove and restore anything. It didn't just happen back in the day, but it happens now. That's true when my husband was praying over someone who was walking with like a wheelchair type device, and within just a short 2-minute prayer, this woman threw down her wheelchair thing and went up to the front of the sanctuary and started praising God, jumping around, dancing, and left it behind and never came back for it. She moved forward. It's happened with illness, like even in myself. I've had sinus issues so bad that I wasn't able to breathe, and we prayed, and my husband put his hand over my nose and prayed that restoring, and immediately it cleared up just like that. There's so many testimonies over our lives where we've seen healings happen, so we know it happens now. And so but what's interesting is that we as a culture don't want to be confident or show boldness in that, because we are starting to then, quote, put pressure on other people to believe a certain way or behave a certain way, but the reality is when we see sin, we need to call it out, but we need to love well on people. So that's an important area to be aware of. So it's how we handle ourselves and whatnot, and being careful about how we steward our lives and how we show ourselves on social media, especially because now you are seen all the time. And so, when everybody else is allowing chaos to run their world, that you are being wise and quiet when you need to be quiet, and only vocal at times when God tells you to speak, not when you feel like your opinion is necessary. So be aware of that. But what is interesting is I've been reading about different names of God, but then also things in Acts, because I feel like back in that time, what he did then is a good foundation of what he will do tomorrow and today. And you have to know what he's capable of, but also know that we haven't seen the best yet. And so in Acts, I think it was see. I'm sorry for this. In Acts 4:26, they call him the Anointed One. And the servants of God prayed, Lord, enable your servants to speak your word with great boldness. So even back in that day, they were concerned about, the public view and how they'd be seen. And they were under a lot of scrutiny. Now in this day and age, there's some of that, and there's some backlash, and you might lose friends or whatnot. But there is something to be said about praying for Jesus' boldness, but also his words. It's very important that you speak only what he tells you to. And you're only going to know that when you're spending quality time with him on a daily basis, to know when he tells you to turn left or right or what to do, and that your words are falling in line with what he would say. So anyway, today has been awesome because the Propel conference is trying to activate and propel people, like literally. And so I'm having a lot of fun with listening to some of these speakers I've watched for a long time, but seeing them in person. And I really like their message of don't get stuck, get yourself moving, and wait on the Lord, but start activating and just taking a step of faith. And it's been definitely a journey Andy and I have been on. We took a big step of faith of coming down here to Florida, and we're just waiting for God to unleash the next step for us. And every day is a new adventure. So anyway, that's what I have so far today, and hope you guys have a great day and enjoy your many blessings. Bye.